Okay, so let's dive into this. The news that broke earlier this week, Tuesday, April 8th, it's just really tough.
Yeah, heartbreaking is the word. The incident at the Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo.
In the Dominican Republic, it's just a devastating situation.
Absolutely. A roof collapse happening in the early hours. It's shocking.
And the numbers, they're hard to even process. At least 124 people killed.
Just staggering.
And on top of that, more than 150 injured. People were there for a concert, right? Merengue singer Rubby Pérez.
A huge name in merengue, Rubby Pérez. I mean, really beloved. A significant figure.
He really was. And the most tragic part, perhaps, is that he was also killed in the collapse.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's just an unbelievable loss, not just for the music world, but for the whole country, you know?
Definitely. The impact, it's immense on families, friends. The whole nation must be reeling.
It's the kind of thing that has very long-lasting effects, for sure.
And, well, someone who felt this really deeply and shared it very publicly was Cardi B.
Right, given her Dominican heritage, it makes sense it would hit close to home.
Exactly. She went on Instagram, and her reaction was just raw emotion. You could feel it in her words.
It's always telling to see how public figures react when something affects their roots, their people.
Yeah. She said she was in literal tears seeing the news, seeing her Dominican people being rescued. And she described families crying desperately in pain, looking for loved ones. Just picturing that. It's rough.
It really underscores that connection she still has, despite being this global superstar.
Totally. And she said she felt like every Dominican around the world is in a big Hora Santa.
The holy hour. Yeah.
Praying for survivors and praying for the ones that are gone. That phrase, Hora Santa, it really points to that collective faith, doesn't it?
It does. That turning to community, to spirituality, in times of just immense crisis and loss. A very cultural response.
And she had a message for the families who lost people, trying to offer some comfort.
What did she say?
She encouraged them to remember their loved ones left this earth singing and dancing and most likely happy and enjoying themselves.
Trying to find that positive memory amidst the grief.
Yeah, adding, and that's how the Lord will receive them. It's about holding on to those, final happy moments, I guess.
That's a very human thing to do, isn't it? To find some light, some peace when everything feels so dark.
And she specifically mentioned Rubby Pérez, calling him one of her iconic artists.
Showing that personal connection to his music.
Right. She said she was glad, though, our final memory of him was him sharing his beautiful voice to us, sang one last time. There's something kind of beautifully sad about that thought. His last act was his art.
It speaks to how powerful music is, how it stays with us. Yeah. And yeah, that final performance idea.
Yeah.
It becomes sort of legendary after someone passes.
Then she just finished by asking her fans, straightforwardly, to pray for those who was in the building last night.
A simple call for support, for unity. That fundamental urge to help, even if it's just through thoughts and prayers.
So yeah, a really moving response from her to just an awful event.
Truly tragic.
Now, shifting gears quite dramatically here, because just a couple of days before this tragedy, there was completely different news involving Cardi B.
Right, the business side. It's always kind of jarring, that contrast, isn't it? How people in the public eye juggle these huge emotional things alongside their careers.
It really is. So the other news, the more positive news, is this big expansion she's making into the business world. A new partnership with Revolve.
Ah, Revolve.
Okay. And it's not small. It's a beauty line and a fashion brand.
Wow. Okay, so this is a major step for her, getting into actually owning her own brands in these spaces.
Exactly. Her first personally owned apparel and beauty lines. And interestingly, it's also Revolve's first big move into beauty.
So significant for both sides then. Revolve is big in online fashion, especially with the younger crowd. This lets them break into beauty and leverages Cardi's huge influence.
And they're not thinking small. Reports are saying the goal is to build this into a billion-dollar empire.
$1 billion? Okay, that's serious ambition.
It really is. It shows how much stock they're putting in her brand, her connection with consumers.
And the market opportunity they see, obviously.
She did an interview, I think, with WWD about it, and she really stressed the importance of quality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she used this relatable example, how everyone has one pair of jeans that I love, or that tank top that I love.
Right, the piece you wear to death because it's just perfect.
Exactly, and that's what she wants her brand to be, to have that one piece that you buy, that you love, that it makes sense. So aiming for lasting stuff, not just fast fashion.
That's a good angle. Focusing on quality, staples, items that stick around.
Yeah.
It suggests a thoughtful strategy.
She also mentioned sizing, which is like a huge issue for people shopping online.
Oh, definitely.
She said if it's a size small, it should be a true size small. If it's a size large, it should be a true size large. Sounds like she wants to get that right, make it consistent.
That's smart. Good sizing builds trust, especially online where you can't try things on easily. Big factor for customer loyalty.
Now, of course, the question everyone's also asking, new music.
Right, it's been a while. Nearly 8 years since the first album.
Which is a long time for fans to wait. But she did say the sophomore album is, quote, pretty much in the can now.
Ah, okay. So it's basically done. That's huge news for her music fans. Always a lot of pressure on that second album.
For sure. And she also kind of reassured people that she's not just ditching music for business, you know.
Like some artists do, yeah.
Right. She indicated we can expect both the music and the new business ventures.
Good. Suggests she wants to keep doing both, keep that artistic side going alongside the entrepreneurial stuff. A multifaceted career.
So it's this really stark contrast, isn't it? You have this profound grief and connection to the tragedy in the Dominican Republic.
Deeply personal, very public grief.
And almost simultaneously, this huge, exciting announcement about a major business launch. Fashion, beauty, billion-dollar ambitions.
Yeah, the duality is striking.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How do public figures manage these extremes? Processing immense sorrow while also driving forward with these massive professional goals, all under the public eye. What does that tell us about, I don't know, life today, the way news works, where tragedy and triumph can sit side by side like that?
It's a fascinating question. The complexity of modern life, especially for those living it so publicly, definitely something to reflect on.